From KVOA, investigating for you. This is News for Tucson, live at 5.
We begin with breaking news out of central Tucson. Tucson police are investigating a deadly shooting at an apartment complex near Fort Lowell and Dodge. News 4 Tucson's Nicole Costantino is live with the very latest. Nicole, what can you tell us at this point?
Sean, it is a pretty active situation still here, but what we do know is that an active homicide investigation is underway at this apartment complex on East Lind called the Lind Commons. That's near Fort Lowell and Dodge. Tucson police tell News 4 Tucson a man was seriously injured. We talked to a man who heard the whole thing happen, and here's what he had to say.
So I have a warehouse right next to this building over here, and I heard at least 10 to 15 gunshots, pow, 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 and then a couple, like maybe 5 seconds, and it sounded like it reloaded, then you went off another 10 shots.
From what the man heard, he believes there could have been an exchange of gunfire involving more than one weapon, possibly a shootout situation. We do believe that there are multiple victims. However, TPD says it's not releasing the names of anyone involved until next of kin is notified. And again, this is a breaking story and still very much an active scene. We're going to continue to monitor it and bring you any updates as we get them. Sean.
We have an update now on some breaking news we first brought you earlier in the newscast.
It's an investigation into a deadly shooting in Midtown Tucson, and we can now confirm that it is an active homicide investigation. Witnesses tell us they heard several gunshots being fired and that more than one weapon was involved. Our News 4 Tucson crew is on the scene right now, and officials say they expect to release more details very soon. We'll check in live with our crew coming up on News 4 Tucson at 5 o'clock.
From KVOA, investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 4.
We begin with a developing story. Police have released new details in the death of a Pima County Constable, Deborah Martinez-Garibay, and 3 others yesterday afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney.
And I'm Monica Garcia. According to Tucson police, the constable was serving an eviction notice at the Lind Commons apartments near Fort Lowell and Dodge. That's where we find News 4 Tucson's Nicole Costantino. Nicole, what are they telling you now? What's the latest update?
Well, Monica, we now know the names of all 3 victims and the gunman. Tucson police say Martinez-Garibay was with 28-year-old Lind Commons, which is the complex manager for the Lind Common apartment complexes, Angela Fox Heath. They were serving an eviction notice to 24-year-old Gavin Stansel. When Stansel was contacted, he opened fire, killing Fox Heath. That's when neighbors called 911. When officers arrived, they couldn't find the constable and believed she was inside Stansel's apartment. TPD's SWAT team was called in to get inside. Once in, they found Martinez-Garibay shot. She was pronounced dead at the scene. After searching the apartment, officers say that Stansel had burrowed into a neighboring apartment and killed 25-year-old Elijah Miranda. Stansel was found dead in his apartment after turning the gun on himself. Police say that there are no outstanding suspects, but detectives with the homicide unit are asking for anybody who knows or think they might know anything to call 88 Crime, and you can remain anonymous. We'll give you any more details as we get them. Monica and Sean.
All right, thank you, Nicole. And she mentioned the names of the victims. We are learning more about these victims of this horrible tragedy. Corus Nylander was there as several people living at Land Commons came together to grieve. He joins us now live with more. Corus.
Yeah, well, Sean, as you can imagine, this is a very difficult time for everyone who knew the victims and for those that live and work here. As Nicole mentioned, the victims, Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay, the property manager here, Angela Fox Heath, that third resident, Elijah Miranda, who was gunned down, and the gunman taking their own life. I spoke with Brett Williams, who says he lives just 2 doors down from where all of this shooting happened. He's still shaken up and said he knew Angela Fox Heath personally. Last spoke to her 2 weeks ago. He told us she was very good at her job and she was only recently promoted to manager. She leaves behind 2 young children and an older stepdaughter. Williams said those children deserve their mother. He's heartbroken for them and the entire family. What would you say to her family now?
That she was very strong and that Yeah, I don't know. There's going to be a loss. Just even those that didn't know her real well, knew of how she was.
Now, Williams said for him, this was the last straw. He no longer feels safe in this neighborhood. He plans on finding somewhere else to live. Coming up at 5 o'clock tonight, we'll look closer into the type of person Constable Martinez Garibay was, and you can hear her describe her line of work and her job, her dedication to it, in her own words. Live from Central Tucson tonight, Cora Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
Oh, just so sad. Thank you for that, Cora. Well, Governor Doug Ducey is ordering flags at all state buildings to fly half-staff today to honor the lives lost. Governor Ducey stated, quote, Constable Martinez was a Tucson native who will be remembered for the way she treated others with dignity and respect. Our thoughts and prayers are with her friends and family, as well as those who also lost their lives in that tragic event.
From KVOA, investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 5.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney, and we continue to follow the latest developments in a deadly shooting in central Tucson. Police have released new details in the death of a Pima County constable. Her name is Deborah Martinez Garibay, and 3 others yesterday morning. According to Tucson police, the constable was serving an eviction notice at the Lynn Commons Apartments near Fort Lowell and Dodge. News 4 Tucson's Nicole Costantino is live from the apartment complex with the latest. Nicole.
Sean, we now know all the names of the 3 victims, including the gunman in the shooting that happened yesterday afternoon. Tucson police say that Martinez Garibay was with 28-year-old Lind Commons complex manager Angela Fox Heath. They were serving an eviction notice to 24-year-old Gavin Stansel. When Stansel was contacted, he opened fire, killing Fox Heath. That's when neighbors called 911. When officers arrived, they couldn't find the constable and believed she was inside Stansel's apartment. TPD's SWAT team was called to go get inside. Once in, they found Martinez Garibay shot. She was pronounced dead at the scene. After searching the apartment, officers say that Stansel had burrowed into a neighboring apartment and also killed 25-year-old Elijah Miranda. Stansel was found dead in his apartment after turning the gun on himself. Police say that there are no outstanding suspects, but homicide detectives are asking you if you think you know or know anything. They're asking you to call 88 Crime, and you can remain anonymous. Sean.
All right, thank you, Nicole. It is a day of unthinkable grief for those who knew the victims of this horrible tragedy. News 4 Tucson's Cora Nylander saw some people today comforting each other at the apartment complex. He joins us now live with more on what we've learned about these victims. Cora, what could you tell us?
Yeah, well, Sean, of course, a very, very sad day out here. At 4 o'clock, we focused in on those mourning the property manager, Angela Fox Heath, who leaves behind 2 young children. Of course, the community is also mourning Constable Deborah Martinez Garibay. She recently was appointed to her position as District 8 Constable. She was a veteran of 20 years, a wife, a mother. Those who knew her well tell us how dedicated she was to her job. I got the chance to talk with her extensively in May. I feel she can say it best on how much her work meant to her.
I still show up every single day. I give my landlords the best that I can. I give the tenants the best I can. I work with the navigators. I understand that I'm dealing with everybody at the lowest part of their lives. And even though I might be at the lowest part of mine, I still give them the best that they can get from anybody. It would be very hard-pressed to find someone who could better serve this community in this position.
And today, flags are flown at half-staff in her honor. We'll update you as we learn more about any funeral arrangements and get more details on this horrible situation out here. Live from Central Tucson, Cora Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
All right, thank you, Cora. And
from KVOA, investigating for you. This is News 4 Tucson, live at 6.
A lot of people that didn't need to leave this earth left this earth. I mean, it's kind of hard to deal with.
A community in mourning after an ambush shooting at a Midtown apartment complex. Tonight, we're learning more about the victims and how the horrific shooting unfolded. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney.
And I'm Monica Garcia. We have team coverage on this developing story, and we begin with Nicole Constantino with more details on what happened in central Tucson yesterday morning. Nicole.
Monica, Sean, we now know the names of the 3 victims in yesterday's shooting, including the gunman. According to Tucson police, Deborah Martinez-Garibay was with 28-year-old Lynn Commons complex manager Angela Fox Heath. They were serving an eviction notice to 24-year-old Gavin Stansel. When Stansel was contacted, he opened fire, killing Fox Heath. That's when neighbors called 911. When officers arrived, they couldn't find the constable, and they believed that she was inside Stansel's apartment. That's when TPD's SWAT team was called in to get inside. Once in, they found Martinez-Garibay shot, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. After searching the apartment, officers say Stansel had burrowed into a neighboring apartment and also killed 25-year-old Elijah Marana. Stansel was found dead in his apartment after turning the gun on himself. Homicide detectives still asking for anybody who knows or thinks they know something to contact 88 Crime, and that you can remain anonymous. Sean, Monica.
All right, thank you, Nicole. It is a day of unthinkable grief for those who knew the victims of this horrible tragedy. News 4 Tucson's Corus Nylander spoke with several people as they comforted each other at the apartment complex today.
He joins us live with more and what we've learned about the victims. Corus, all of this just heartbreaking. What are you hearing out there?
Well, a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, Monica. This is a horrible situation. I saw a lot of people out here today that live and work here. They were grieving and comforting with each other, helping each other get through this horrible tragedy that now will forever be a part of this community's shadow.
A lot of people that didn't need to leave this earth left this earth. I mean, it's kind of hard to deal with.
Tonight, a community in mourning after the death of 3 innocent victims after an eviction went horribly wrong. Brett Williams says he lives just 2 doors down from where the shooting happened here at the Lynn Commons apartment complex. Among the dead, property manager Angela Fox Heath. Williams says he knew her well.
She took her job serious. She put herself out there as far as taking care of the resident or taking care of the security of the place.
Angela leaves behind 2 young children and an older stepdaughter. Williams says he's met the kids before, and it's weighing on his mind.
It's not right. It's little kids should have a mom, have parents both, taking care of them.
Deborah Martinez-Garibay recently took on her role as Pima County Constable for District 8. A veteran, wife, and mother, I interviewed her in May. She spoke about the dedication she had for her career.
I give my landlords the best that I can. I give the tenants the best I can. I work with the navigators. I understand that I'm dealing with everybody at the lowest part of their lives. And even though I might be at the lowest part of mine, I still give them the best that they can get from anybody. It would be very hard-pressed to find someone who could better serve this community.
Today, police identified the 3rd victim as a neighbor, Elijah Miranda.
It was loud and nobody knew what was going on. It's quite scary.
Tim Tobin lives nearby. He heard a barrage of gunshots. He says this tragedy has left this neighborhood heartbroken, but if there's any silver lining, he says it was seeing everyone come together in the wake of evil.
Unfortunately, it's one of those events where you see a tragedy kind of bring a community together. We were all able to come out, kind of speak and voice our concerns with each other. So I think maybe in some way it might bring us a little closer together.
And we'll keep you updated as we learn more about the victims, funeral arrangements, and any ways you may be able to help their families through this. Reporting live from Central Tucson tonight, Corus Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
Yeah, and our thoughts go out to all the victims' families and those folks that live out there in that apartment complex. All very sad as we keep unfolding or discovering more things coming to light. Thank you so much, Corus. Well, the body of slain Pima County Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay is now at a downtown mortuary. The law enforcement gave her an honor procession this afternoon, along with a route from the medical examiner's office. The honor procession is a tradition for fallen law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty.
Now we have some other video for you to look at here. We're seeing flags at half-staff that are coming last night from Governor Doug Ducey, his order to honor the shooting victims. Deborah Martinez-Garibay, 43 years old. She had been a constable for Pima County for only a few months since this past March. The constable's office was closed today to honor her public service. And Governor Doug Ducey is, as we mentioned, has ordered flags at half-staff today at buildings. And Governor Ducey issued a quote, a release here, and it says, Constable Martinez was a Tucson native who will be remembered for the way she treated others with dignity and respect. Our thoughts and prayers are with her friends and family, as well as those who also lost their lives in today's tragic events.
From KVOA, investigating for you, this is News 4 Tucson, live at 10.
I'm sad because he didn't get a chance to live long enough to fulfill the man that he was going to be.
3 people gunned down in our city, now gone. Those left behind left with insurmountable grief, remembering their loved ones tonight. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Sean Mooney.
And I'm Monica Garcia. We continue to follow the latest in a deadly shooting that left 4 people dead, including the gunman in Midtown Tucson yesterday. There's still a lot to digest here, but here's how the tragic events unfolded.
According to Tucson police, Pima County Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay was serving an eviction notice at the Lynn Commons apartments near Fort Lowell and Dodge. The constable was alongside 28-year-old Angela Fox Heath, the apartment's manager, when police say 24-year-old Gavin Stansell started shooting at both women, killing Fox Heath. At that point, neighbors called 911.
When officers arrived, they could not find the constable. That's when the SWAT team was called, and Martinez-Garibay was found shot to death inside Stansell's apartment. The shooter was somehow able to make his way into the apartment next to him, shooting and killing his neighbor, 25-year-old Elijah Miranda. Then Stansell turned the gun on himself. And our community is mourning tonight. 3 innocent lives tragically taken in this shooting.
Tonight, as they grieve, friends and family remember the victims. And News 4 Tucson's Eric Fink is live at the scene where it all happened near Fort Lowell and Dodge with the story. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening, Sean, Monica. Pima County Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay was killed in the line of duty. Angela Fox Heath was the manager at this apartment complex, and Elijah Miranda didn't even live here. He was looking to escape the heat by visiting one of his friends here at this apartment complex who had air conditioning. Tonight, 2 very close friends of Elijah's remembers the young man. Surrogate parents, really. They say his life was full of promise.
You shouldn't have to worry about whether you're going to live or die by wanting some air conditioning at a friend's apartment. That shouldn't be. No one should lose their life because they wanted to visit a friend.
Husband and wife Joey Rogers and Celeste Lupo own Dancing in the Streets, a ballet studio in South Tucson. As a young boy, Elijah Miranda was one of their first students. Over the years, they stayed very close with each other. Joey considered himself a father figure to young Elijah.
You ever heard the old saying, never judge a book by its cover? That's who Elijah was.
Humble. He was extremely humble. He was such a sweet boy. Like, even when he was in 12 and 13, you expect most kids to go through that real rebellious stage. He felt so comfortable in the ballet studio. We were sanctuary to him.
Angela Fox Heath managed the Lynn Common Apartments. She was with Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay as they served an eviction notice. News 4 Tucson spoke to her stepdaughter Friday night.
Just like how much of a loving mother she was. Even though she wasn't my mother, she still treated me like her own.
Adelia LaFawn says her stepmom was always happy.
She looked at the bright side of everything. How inclusive she was. She didn't hate anyone. She was just such a kind person.
Pima County Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay had only been on the job since March. She was a wife and a mother and a veteran. My colleague Corus Nylander spoke to her in May when she reflected on what she brought to her job.
I give my landlords the best that I can. I give the tenants the best I can. I work with the navigators. I understand that I'm dealing with everybody at the lowest part of their lives. It would be very hard-pressed to find someone who could better serve this community.
Still very hard to comprehend it all. And Joey and Celeste say to honor Elijah, they will soon be creating the Elijah Miranda Scholarship Fund, so more kids in our community will be able to take ballet. We're live tonight here in Midtown. I'm Eric Fink, News 4 Tucson. Back to you.
Eric, the body of slain Pima County Constable Deborah Martinez-Garibay is now at a downtown mortuary. Law enforcement accompanied her in a procession this afternoon along the route from the medical examiner's office. The honor procession is a tradition for fallen law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty.
And flags flew at half-staff across the state today. That order coming last night from Governor Doug Ducey to honor the shooting victims. 43-year-old Deborah Martinez-Garibay had just started her position as a constable for Pima County 5 months ago. The constable's office was closed today to honor her public service.